All right, happy to be joined right now by Lupita Godinez, one of the newest members of the UFC roster. She makes her Octagon debut April 17th at UFC Vegas 24 against Jessica Penne. Lupi, you did it. How are you?
Good. I'm really happy. How are you?
I am great. This is amazing because you and I, we've had a few chats over the years, and you knew this day was going to come at some point. How does it feel now that it's here? The next step in this journey is complete.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, everything has been happening so fast that I haven't had like the time to sit and think. It's been like, okay, you got it. Okay, you gotta leave Canada. You gotta go to the States. You gotta do this. I've been training here. I'm in Denver right now. Medicals, and it's just been like things happening. Like I'm so busy. I've been so busy that I have no time for thinking. But after the fight, I'll sit and celebrate.
So tell me about how you got the news, because knowing from past conversations, I assume this was a Jason House phone call or a FaceTime call, because when that happens, it's usually very good news. Is that the case when you got this information that you are now part of the UFC?
Yeah, well, he called me. He FaceTimed me and say, hey, we got it. Let's do it. But, Lupi, you got to leave tomorrow, blah, 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 everything so fast. So, yeah, it was like everything when it was like so excited. And then it's like busy and like it's no time to put all the thoughts together, But, yeah, I'm really happy and excited to start my new journey for sure.
So along the way, you won the BTC title in Canada. We spoke, that was the last time we talked, was right before that fight. And you were hoping that win could propel you to at least get on the Contender Series. You ended up fighting for, and then you won the LFA strawweight title in October. So I'm curious, I know you're in Canada, we're in the middle of a pandemic, but was there any talks prior to the LFA fight about maybe getting on the Contender Series? Because I know the pandemic kind of screwed things up a little bit.
Yeah, there were some talks about getting on the Contender in July, I believe. But yeah, I mean, this happened and even better.
Right. So, I mean, after you beat Vanessa Demopoulos, won the LFA title, I mean, you had to at least have a good feeling that this UFC call was coming, that it was just a matter of time before that phone was going to ring, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. So, I mean, you've been doing this MMA thing, at least competition-wise, for less than 5 years, and you've learned a lot along the way, especially during your amateur run. Less than 5 years from your amateur debut to the UFC, there are not many fighters who can say that. So if I told you after your first fight with Jamie Lynn Horth Wessels, or your second fight with her, since you fought her again in your second amateur fight, if I told you that in less than 5 years you'd be in the UFC, would you have believed me?
No. No. It was, it's been a lot of work. A lot of work has been put in, and a lot of hours, a lot of a lot of people around me. So now we're here, and now we're gonna work on staying here and get to the top.
What has it been like for your confidence just to continue to grow and grow and grow after all these fights? Because people go on Tapology or SureDog and they look at your amateur record, there were a few losses along the way, but ever since then, you've been winning and winning and winning. What has that been like for your confidence over the last couple of years?
Well, I always say, the losses are the ones that make me the better, I learned what I had to fix and everything, and this is how I got better. So I'm actually really thankful for my losses because, to fight a taller opponent, I learned how to get in the inside, how to calm myself when I'm super nervous, how to manage all these weird feelings that I have before a fight. So, I have a lot of amateur fights. So just because each one of them, I was feeling different until the last one. That's when I figured out, oh, this is what I like to do. Oh, this is what I don't like to do. And finally I figured it out. So now I just dance for my warm-ups and get and have fun.
So here we are, you're getting ready to fight Jessica Penne, and what's interesting about this matchup is your entire MMA career has happened pretty much since the last time she's fought, which is kind of wild to think about because she's kind of one of the OGs of the women's MMA game. She's been at this since 2006 for a long time. I know you didn't really have a lot of time to process this information, but when you found out that you were fighting Jessica Penne, how did you react to that?
Let's do it. I mean, I'm super happy that she's my opponent. She's been around for so long, and it's just a honor to be in the cage with her. That that's it. You know, I'm just happy that she's my opponent. That's it. And I mean, how I'm gonna say no to an opponent like that, right? Like she's I don't know. I like the matchup. I'm really excited.
Is she someone that you've watched over the years, like before really diving into your career? Is she someone that you paid attention to along the way?
No.
Have you watched any of her fights?
I watched them before, yeah.
Did you watch the Michelle Watterson fight? Because that fight's ridiculous.
Yes.
That fight's so good. Yes. I always tell people, if you're going to look for like really good women's MMA fights, obviously Joanna and Zhang last year was ridiculous, but that one, right? I think that's like 1A and 1B in terms of like the best women's fights of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to get engaged with her. You know, she's super tough. Super tough.
And she hasn't fought in 4 years. So a lot has happened in that stretch of time. Like the game has changed so much since then. Is it almost better that way? Like you can focus almost exclusively on yourself, what you're going to do on the 17th, and you don't have to worry too much about her because she hasn't fought in so long.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always focus on myself, getting better in every area in myself, because once I get in the cage and she gives me looks, I want to have answers for that, right? So that's pretty much what I do. And I'm not training just for her. I'm training, you know, I'm just training for like to be the best I can be in MMA.
So how did you end up in Denver?
Well, I have a friend here and I've been here before, so I love training here. The training is really good. So the UFC said that I had to do some visa stuff. So I had to be in the States earlier because it wasn't enough time for them to send me a visa to Canada. So that's why I've been here this whole time.
And what gym are you training at over there?
Elevation.
Oh, an Elevation Fight Team.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. You can't, I mean, there's no way you can't turn around and find somebody high level for you to work with, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has been super nice to me, super helpful. They actually pretty much have privates with like amazing coaches. It's really nice. They're really nice.
Who have you been? Where you said you had a friend out there? Who's your friend?
Yeah, her name is Carson. She's gonna do her pro debut this year. But I got Claire. She fought for LFA last time. She's in Invicta. There is so many girls up here, right? So yeah, it's really good training for sure.
So how do we get this thing done, Lupita? Octagon debut, it's finally arrived. I'm sure you've been thinking about this day for quite some time. How do you introduce yourself to UFC fans April 17th against Jessica Penne?
Well, I used to introduce myself as a fun fighter that, you know, you don't want to miss it because it's just going to be a fun fight. That's all.
So I have to ask you about this because I've been asking everybody recently about this. After your fight ends, there's obviously the rest of the UFC card. But then over in Atlanta, there's a boxing match everybody's talking about between Ben Askren and Jake Paul. Is this something that you'll be trying to watch after your fight? Is this even interesting to you in any way?
I don't know. I may just sit and cry the whole time just because it's been so much, you know, the past 2 weeks. I don't know. We will see. I'll go with my feelings.
Do you have a thought on who you think is going to win that fight? Does it even matter?
No, I haven't even put any thought
on
anything. Honestly, like this past week and a bit, it's been just about me. You know, like my friend, she hurt her knee like when I got here, and pretty much she's been just like living my life, like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. You know, I'm so thankful that she's just like, okay, I need to drive you here, I need to take you here, let's go here. Like, she's been so helpful, right? So I have no, you know, wake up and dieting and training. I have no time for anything else.
Yeah, because this all happens so quickly, right? I mean, has anything like this happened? I mean, obviously, like fighting for the UFC is something you haven't experienced before, but something like this hectic in terms of getting to a fight, have you experienced this before?
I mean, almost all my fights as a professional, they've been short notice. Like my debut, all of them except the LFA one, they've been like, the longest one, it was like 3 weeks notice, something like that. And then 2 weeks and then 1.5 notice, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I've been in this before, but I never had to travel early to another, you know, to the States to do, and then yeah, it's just been, everything is different right now. But I'm good at just going with the flow, and whatever happens, let's do it. So I'm happy and excited.
Yeah, you're like the short notice queen. You just get fights, you say yes, and they just happen to be like right around the corner. So now being in the UFC, it could be like 5-6 months in between fights. Are you okay with that? Is that going to be like a refreshing change for you, or are you going to kind of hope that you can be like a Kevin Holland and try to fight like every month if you can?
I mean, I'm gonna try. I mean, if I'm healthy and everything, I would like to fight every 3 months. That will be fine, and see what happens. Right? I like to be active, and I want to be active. So we will see after this one. Right now, I have no head for that stuff.
Yeah, you got too much to think about right now. You're just trying to get to the fight, and then the fight happens, and then you can think about everything else. But I have to say, Lupita, I am very excited for you, very happy to see you make this debut next week, that first UFC walk, April 17th against Jessica Penne. So thank you again for the time. All the best to you in the fight, and congratulations on the call.
Thank you for doing this. Have a good day.